Hey guys, it's Chris from Fairly Awesome Podcast with another fairly awesome WTF movie review.
Oh, what the f***? Is this for real?
In sad news, Hal Douglas, the oft-imitated voice of thousands of movie trailers, commercials, and TV show narrations, passed away recently. Somewhere, he and Don LaFontaine are taking turns turning mundane events into epically narrated tales of the fantastic and heartwarming. Rest in peace. Anyway, moving on, this week's movie is Berserker, Hell's Warrior. In this film, as with most movies that appropriate ancient mythology, quite a few liberties were taken with characters to fit the story, so it's probably best to just pretend you know nothing about Norse mythology. The writers obviously did. Odin, king of the Norse gods, chains Brunhilde, a mythical Valkyrie who spurns Odin and advances, to a rock and imprisons her on earth in a ring of fire. He then decrees that only a pure-hearted man can douse these flames surrounding her and take her for his own. Bor and Beric, a pair of young brothers, hear of the legend of Brunhilde, become enthralled with the idea of being the one to save her. Overcome by desire and common sense, Bor climbs the rocky flaming prison to save Brunhilde and is engulfed in flames. Rushing to save him, Beric is untouched by the flames and saves both his brother and Brunhilde. Beric begs Brunhilde to save Bor, which she does by transforming him into a berserker. Later, a Viking expedition heads to a berserker camp. Beric and his father Thorson find Bor, who is now the head of the berserker clan. They request his assistance with helping Thorson become king. Bor is willing to help in exchange for land and Beric's soul. Thorson accepts. When the battle is successful, Bor attempts to claim his various prizes, but is betrayed by Thorson and set on fire. Beric calls on Odin to save his brother Bor from being burned to death. In exchange, Beric is then turned into a berserker by Brunhilde himself. Suddenly, it's 1,000 years later. Beric is held in chains in a maximum security prison / psych ward. A new psychiatrist arrives. Dr. Anya Green, in addition to her giant chest tattoo, bears a striking resemblance to Brunhilde. Dr. Green decides to free Beric from his restraints. Then a group of berserkers magically appear and attempt to kill Beric, but really only end up killing everyone else in the prison in the process. Beric escapes in Dr. Green's car, where we discover that she is in fact Brunhilde. Turns out the berserkers were sent forth by Bor, who seeks revenge on Beric. Bor chases the duo across town, through a neon blacklit rave bar, and eventually to a junkyard. Bor and Beric fight it out, with Beric winning, only to discover that Brunhilde has been using the other brothers to build an army against Odin throughout the ages. Beric kills Brunhilde, who is then re-imprisoned, and decides the best course of action going forward is to dress up like Dog the Bounty Hunter and watch for his brother to be reborn. So in Berserker, Hell's Warrior, Valkyries are no longer warrior maidens who sort through the fallen Vikings to decide who will go to Valhalla to prepare for Ragnarok. Instead, they're scantily clad hotties who vaguely resemble vampires. These Valkyries have yellow eyes, fangs, and a sexy glow about them. Their bite transform men into berserkers, bloodthirsty killers who, aside from being immortalish, don't really possess any other vampiric traits. They can only be killed by being set on fire or having their heads split in two. And thanks to that, this movie is rife with decapitations, throat chops, and plenty of head splitting. Ultimately, Berserker's Hell's Warrior is a bad movie about a bizarre love triangle that pretty much gets everybody killed, but not really. In grand Viking tradition, nearly everyone in the ancient Norse era of the film has a massive beard, as well as any of the berserkers that show up later in the film. Well, with the exception of Bor, who apparently opted to go beard-free for the movie, bucking the Viking stereotype in what I can only assume is some attempt to fight for Viking civil rights. Behind those massive, anger-filled beards of doom, Vikings are people too. The fights look more like intense LARPing than impressive battles. The story relies on a lot of flashback storytelling, where the flashbacks are solarized and discolored and everything occurs in slow motion, instead of just telling the story outright. And there are plenty of plot holes for everyone, like why there seems to be no police manhunt to find either the escaped mentally deranged killer or this horde of scruffy-bearded, bare-skin-clad murderers. On the plus side, if you've ever wondered what Carrie Wurr looks like in various stages of undress, up to and including topless, this film provides ample opportunity to find out. So that wraps up Berserker, Hell's Warrior. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube for our video updates. Leave any comments or suggestions for movies you'd like to see reviewed in the comments below. Follow us on Twitter at Fatcast, like us on Facebook, and unless shitty movies are somehow outlawed between now and then, we'll see you next time.
After the unfortunate incident with the helmet. Oh,
son of a bitch! Check me out, I'm a dolphin! And...
yeah.
Son of a bitch!
Did it even record your berserker faces?
No, I might not have. I went ahead and made him again while no one was looking.
What?
No, you didn't.
I did.
You fucking did not.
Do it
I did actually.
Do it again.
right now.
Berserker face.
No, you more. That's perfect.